Great. I think I will kick off. I'm sure more people will join us as we go on. Hi, everyone who might have just joined us. I am Sally Bourne. I'm the Second Secretary in the Embassy of Ireland. I replaced Laura Finlay a couple of months ago. And today I'm joined by Sandra working in Tourism Ireland. Sandra Moffatt is the Marketing Manager for Canada. She has been in Toronto 6 years, so she has a good personal understanding of the draw back to home, as well as a great professional one. Sandra has a passion for sustainability in tourism, so it's always kind of interesting to hear that take on how the industry moves forward. But she's also going to talk us through some of the must-sees as we go back to traveling to Ireland, as well as some of the new campaigns coming up. So we hope it's an enjoyable chat. As always, before you travel, do check the most up-to-date travel advice. So gov.ie is the best place to go for that. But if you do have any queries, do call the embassy or check in with us and we'll be able to give you a steer in the right direction. And so with that, I will let Sandra take it away. Thank you so much for joining us.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here, and thanks for everyone joining us today. It's great timing to be invited to chat to everyone today because it's World Tourism Day. So from the United Nations, and the theme this year is Tourism for Inclusive Growth. I think it's a really amazing theme for this year because over COVID-19, over this pandemic, I think so many of us have been affected in so many various ways. With travel, with tourism, 325,000 jobs on the island of Ireland are related specifically to tourism. And now I think we're in a really good stead as we begin to reopen. I think now we can really take the opportunity to rebuild and recover, and remember that behind every statistic, there is a person. So I love that inclusive growth theme for this year because so many people over the last 18 months have lost their lives, lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods. And so many of us here in Canada as well have been separated from our family and from our friends, and we're really eager to be getting back to travel and back to the island of Ireland. So the theme I think today is, taking those lessons learned over the last 12 to 18 months and being able to implement them and focus, as Sally said, I have a passion for sustainability. So being able to look towards the future of travel and look towards it in a really sustainable and socially aware way. Talking through what the island of Ireland looks like at the moment and what you need to know before you go and where we are at with regards to traveling to Ireland at the moment. So we're really excited to share that we've air access back up and running for the first time in what feels like an eternity. Air Canada are back flying 4 times a week from Toronto Pearson, 3 times a week from Toronto Pearson, and Aer Lingus just relaunched their flights last Saturday, and they'll be flying 4 times a week from Toronto Pearson. And we are working at Tourism Ireland really, really hard on trying to get air connectivity back from across the country. And we previously had 7 routes across Canada. We flew direct from Vancouver, from Calgary, from Montreal, from Halifax, from Hamilton and from Toronto. We are working really hard to get that back, but at the moment I think this is a great start. And the word from the airlines is that these flights are doing really well. And there are some really, really great deals for airfare on offer at the moment. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a couple of minutes. We are also excited to share that the direct route from Calgary and Halifax, and then other routes direct from Pearson with Air Transat will be coming back next year. So building on that air access and making it as easy as possible for everybody to get over to Ireland. Here are some of the COVID requirements. As Sally mentioned, really do check in with the embassy if you do have any questions on traveling. These change quite frequently. We have the websites there, so check frequently before you travel. But at the moment, Ireland is welcoming fully vaccinated travelers. So vaccinated meaning the accepted vaccines being Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and AstraZeneca. With this, there'll be no travel-related testing and no quarantine. You will, of course, need to fill out the passenger locator form and just brief top-line information about your travels. If you are non-vaccinated, you will have to get a negative PCR test. Rapid antigen tests aren't accepted, so it will have to be PCR, and you'll have to get that within 72 hours prior to arrival, and then you will have to quarantine, and you can be released from quarantine in day 5 post-arrival testing, and if you get a negative test from there. Now, even if you're fully vaccinated, if you are traveling with children, ages 12 to 17 will be required to have your negative PCR test. So that has to be within 72 hours prior to arrival, and then self-quarantine requirements are required based on the accompanying adult vaccination status. Kids under 12 do not need to get testing. We also have all the requirements here for Northern Ireland, and so very, very similar, except you do need to get a day 2 PCR test, even if you are vaccinated and you're going to Northern Ireland. As I said, any specific questions, reach out to either ourselves at Tourism Ireland or the embassy is a great go-to. Wanted to share a bit of information on our new campaign. So we haven't been marketing for 12 to 18 months. We haven't been encouraging travel. We've been trying to keep the island of Ireland, top of mind for everyone. It's an amazing destination. It's been doing so much. The industry on the ground have been really, really incredible over the last 12 to 18 months and getting themselves up to speed with what they need to do to make Ireland reopen and reopen safely. We're ready to welcome you now. Finally, as of July 19th, fully vaccinated Canadians have been welcomed to the island of Ireland, and the industry is slowly starting to reopen. What you'll see across Ireland is these safety charters, so the 2 symbols on the bottom of the screen there, and that is our COVID-19 safety charter, and in Northern Ireland, the We're Good to Go safety charter. So can't get more clearer than that, I suppose. We're good to go, meaning they're good to go. The industry have got themselves up to speed with all of the requirements that they need to do to ensure that they are trained, that they know how many people can be in certain businesses at certain times. There's sanitization requirements. This is different for every business. So whether you're a tourism attraction or a hotel or a transport and logistics and coach tours and providers and things like that, each of them have a very stringent set of rules that they have to abide by, and it's very regularly checked by the government. So I think when you're traveling to Ireland, you can be really sure that you are in a safe and easy destination to get around. We've just launched our Green Button campaign. So as of last Thursday, this campaign was launched to press the green button. So green being synonymous with Ireland and also being synonymous with the word go. And we invite everybody to press the green button and finally open the doors and travel to Ireland or travel home for many of you. What this consists of is working with influencers across Canada. So really well-known people who are respected and who travel a lot, who know the travel industry inside out. And we want you to follow along with them so that you can be reassured that the experience from the moment you step foot in the airport, working with our airlines we're flying right now, Air Canada and Aer Lingus, from the moment you step inside the airport to getting on that flight, to disembarking off your flight, to getting on your bus or your taxi or wherever you're going to your hotel or to your home address, that it's going to be safe and it's going to be easy. And we want them to share every step of this journey so that you can really follow along with that and see what it's like to travel at the moment. There's so much uncertainty, even for frequent travelers like myself. I haven't gone anywhere in the last little while, and most of us haven't. So I think it's really about creating that reassurance that this is what travel looks like post-pandemic. And although it might seem complicated and there's so many, changing requirements and different things you have to worry about, at the moment, really traveling to Ireland is very easy and very straightforward. So I invite you to follow along with those. If you follow us on social media, we'll share our channels in a little bit and follow along and you'll be able to see what that looks like. We also have a massive social media campaign that we launched. So what you'll find here on our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Pinterest accounts is lots of new and exciting things that you can experience. As I said, the industry have been waiting to welcome visitors, and they've really been doing a lot of work to create new and exciting experiences, immersive experiences. I don't know about you, but after months and months and months being cooped up during a pandemic in various stages of lockdown, depending on where you are, I'm really looking forward to getting out and breathing in some fresh air. And Ireland is known for the great outdoors, so there's lots of amazing outdoor experiences on offer. If you go to our social media sites, you'll see lots of incredible deals from our travel partners as well. So we work with all the airlines, all the tour operators, and all the industry providers on the ground. And we want to make sure that we are providing value to you. So if you're booking travel to Ireland, that by going through our social media channels or booking on our website, that you're being given extra value, that you're being given a great deal. And this is where you'll find it. You'll find it on Ireland.com and on our social media channels. We've invited all of our tourism providers and partners to give us the best deals that they can possibly offer to encourage people to press the green button and travel with us. We're also working with Travel Zoo and Wunderlist CA and Travel Alerts and all those big deal sites that you may be familiar with, to again be able to promote and showcase these really incredible deals to Ireland. So if you are looking at traveling, now is the best time to do it. Now is a really great time just to go. We want to stimulate immediate recovery and drive demand to get back to Ireland. And this is a great way to do it. There's a lot of really good deals out there at the moment, as I said. So welcome subscribing to Travel Zoo and Travel Alerts and signing up to our website and social media channels. Where all of this information is hosted will be on our website, ireland.com. So you'll see a dedicated campaign page here on ireland.com, which will invite, as I said, everyone to press the green button. So you can see here, for example, a tour from Royal Irish Tours and from Air Canada Vacations. There's special offers from Aer Lingus. You can get round trip fares from $399 with Aer Lingus to Ireland right now. So you can travel from October 1st through February 17th. And you do have to book in the next week or so though. So if you are looking at booking a flight, go over to ireland.com. That's really insanely good value airfare on offer at the moment. And the same with some of the tour packages. So you can see there 10% off Air Canada Vacations tour packages. So if you're looking at doing an all-encompassing tour around the island, if you are bringing family and friends and you don't have to worry about planning your route or thinking about what you want to see and where you want to go and organizing transport and things like that, booking through one of these tour operators is a great way to do that. It's so hassle-free. They also have got themselves up to speed on all the requirements and everything that you need to worry about when you're traveling. So again, a really easy and hassle-free way to travel. This is where you'll find these deals. They're not available elsewhere. So 10% off with Air Canada Vacations for tour deals. We have deals with Royal Irish Tours, CIE, a lot of our partners on the ground. If you're booking a trip just yourself, you have just booked your airfare, you're going to see family or friends, or you're taking a trip over to the island of Ireland, but you don't want to go on an organized tour, go onto the site as well. You'll see lots of discounts for distilleries, for tourism attractions, from a variety of our partners there. Many of you will know what's so great about Ireland, so I don't want to preach to the choir, but we are the closest gateway to Europe. So if you are looking just to travel and to get a bit of a city break and you want to stop home or you want to stop in Ireland for a few days, you could do that, or you can take your entire trip there. As I said, we're all craving a bit of fresh air, I think. Outdoor adventures are really popular. We don't have the inclement weather that you might get here in Canada. So when it's minus 22 degrees here, you can be paddleboarding on the River Liffey or kayaking in Derry, Londonderry, or hiking somewhere in December or January. So I don't know about you, but that feels pretty appealing to me when it's minus 20 outside. We have all those iconic views and landscapes, iconic attractions like the Cliffs of Moher or the Giant's Causeway, among others. I know many of us, if you even have been to Ireland before, you might not have seen these iconic attractions. And when you can't travel, like we haven't been able to do over the last 18 months or so, I got that fear of missing out. I'm like, I always meant to go to the Cliffs of Moher, but I never actually went. Well, now is the time to do it. I think it's opened all of our eyes up a little bit to what we might have missed over the last 18 months. So take the trip, do the thing you've always said you'd do, but you didn't do. So many of us as well either have direct family in Ireland, or you might claim Irish ancestry. Here in Canada, 4.5 million Canadians claim Irish ancestry, and a lot of us have been exploring our heritage and doing DNA kits and various things over the last little while. And a lot of people we see are going back to explore their roots and trace their ancestry. There's an amazing exhibition in the middle of Dublin. It's on the quays at the CHQ building, right opposite the Irish Famine Memorial Sculptures. And it is the world's first digital, fully digital museum. It's won a ton of awards, including the Europe's leading tourism attraction. So beating out, the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Louvre and Buckingham Palace. This museum is a must not miss. So if you haven't been to it, highly recommend it. It's really interactive. It's a great one for kids as well. So there's lots of, you can stamp your passport throughout. They give you a little passport. There's Irish dancing lessons in it. Really a must not miss. And something that Ireland is doing really incredibly well at the moment is immersive experiences. So none of us want to be a backseat tourist anymore. When we're traveling, we want to get involved. We want to join people and do a cookery class or practice gin making in a gin distillery. So there's lots of new and immersive experiences available on offer. Again, you'll find all of those on ireland.com if you're looking for them. We're also known for our golf and our luxury experiences. So lots of incredible castles. If you feel like spoiling yourself, you haven't been able to get back to Ireland in quite some time, treat yourself to a night in a castle or a night in a quirky accommodation. You can even stay in lighthouses and things like that in Ireland, which many people don't know about. So take a look and do something different when you're home or when you're back in Ireland. It's also just the Ryder Cup has just wrapped up, and while Team Europe didn't do incredibly well and was well beaten out by Team USA, but there is incredible golf on the island as well. And we see lots of people going over for our links courses, and we have over a third of the world's links courses. So if you want to do a bucket list activity while you're back in Ireland, suggest a round of golf. So what are you waiting for? We want you to press the green button. We're ready. As I said, we're open, we're ready. Now is the time to go. There's so many incredible deals out there, and the industry are waiting. We have Arcade Míle Fáilte, our 100,000 welcomes, and the joke with all our providers has been that all those welcomes are going spare. They don't have anyone to welcome anymore, and they don't know what to do with all of them. So let's help everybody and get those 100,000 welcomes being used. Now, so why visit Ireland now? They're all the, the hero reasons why we love Ireland and how we promote Ireland here in Canada. But why visit Ireland now? Well, we have the second highest vaccination rate in Europe. That's 72.9%. It's even more than that now. Over 80% of people are fully vaccinated. And, our industry has been really, really heavily impacted. As I said earlier, 325,000 jobs on the island are impacted by tourism. And there's the people behind every single one of those jobs, our friends, our families. There's been lots of coverage about that. The Irish pub is really at the heart of our culture and where people get together. And a lot of them have been in really, really big trouble. And we're finally able to welcome people in again and open that up. And on October 22nd, most of the restrictions in Ireland are being lifted. So it'll be just like before. Which is very exciting. So it's time to make some memories, whether it's visiting your family and friends and finally getting home, or whether you just want to go and do something that you've never done before. There's lots of festivals coming up. There's the Puka Festival, the Bram Stoker Festival. Derry Halloween is another one. Derry Halloween was voted the world's best place to spend Halloween by USA Today, not just a couple of years ago. So if you're looking to go over for something in particular, Halloween is a really great one. Halloween, as many of you may know, originated in Ireland with the ancient festival of Samhain over 3,000 years ago. And Ireland does celebrate that really, really well. Puka is a relatively new festival. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It takes place across Ireland's ancient east, so across, around Newgrange, around Trim Castle, around Drogheda, and it's a bit of a spooky one. It really goes into the ancient myth and folklore. So you'll find more about that again on our website, but they have a full festival program. There's lots of circus arts, there's lots of live music, one I definitely recommend if you are back to check out. There's also lots coming up over the next few months. We're really excited to be able to do festivals and in-person events again. Tradfest is a personal favorite of mine. It takes place in Dublin City. It's opening up a lot of venues you never usually get access to. So cathedrals and the crypts of Christ Church and various different venues. And it will have incredible both contemporary and traditional music playing for a whole week. That's at the end of January for anyone who's interested in checking that one out. And we know that the St. Patrick's Festival team are eagerly awaiting March 17th this year. Obviously everything was cancelled last year, but they're putting together their festival program, and having seen a sneak peek, it looks absolutely incredible. So if you are going over, St. Patrick's Day, of course, is always a great time to go. And then Sally did mention a focus on sustainability. So I really think we need to, at this time, take a little bit of a step back, have a think about how we travel, why we travel. No better day than World Tourism Day to do that. Most of us love travel, and it broadens the mind, it broadens the conversation, it exposes us to new things, new people, new culture. But we need to make sustainable travel the foundation of our choices so that we can lessen the impact on the places that we love to visit. The carbon footprint of travel and tourism is between 5 and 10% of global emissions, so it does have an impact. But there are many ways to travel sustainably. What does it mean? Well, there's lots of certifications, there's lots of movements, and moving around kind of when you're trying to look at booking travel, what that actually means could be a bit of a minefield. So I suppose the good news is that the tourism industry is responding to that, not just in Ireland, but all around the world. A global sustainable tourism council has been developed, and that has developed a baseline set of standards for what sustainable tourism actually means around the globe. And while in Irish, then the Irish government developed a really strong action plan to make Ireland a world leader in sustainable travel. And we, of course, at Tourism Ireland also have our own plans and are very, very committed to playing our part in that. Businesses across Ireland are being recognised by organisations and initiatives such as the Sustainable Travel Ireland, Green Hospitality, Origin Green. There's a few of these organisations and associations that focus on sustainable travel. And they commit sustainable standards and practices. Hundreds more have become members of an organisation called Leave No Trace Ireland, and that also limits the impact that outdoor recreation has. And Lonely Planet has presented its Community Award Best in Travel 2020 to the Burren Ecotourism Network in County Clare as well. So we are really making waves. We are working forward to building a sustainable travel and sustainable travel product in Ireland. And there's only more of that to come. So when you're traveling to Ireland, I would recommend that you keep an eye out for businesses supporting green tourism accolades, and so you can make an informed choice. There are many tour operators as well here in Canada, if you're looking at traveling through them, that they are leaders in the sustainable travel space. The Travel Corporation is one of them, and the Travel Corporation consists of a lot of the major brands that you might have heard of, which is Trafalgar, Contiki, Insight Vacations, Luxury Gold, and they're all members of the Tread Right Foundation, and they have a pledge for sustainability that I recommend you checking out. It's a really, really nice pledge, and even if you don't travel with them, it is just a really lovely message. So recommend checking out treadright.org for anyone who is interested in traveling sustainably and environmentally friendly travel. Collect Vacations is another one who have done lots of work on that. So when you're looking at traveling, please do travel sustainably when we can. As I said, it's a cause quite important to my heart, because I think over the last 18 months, a big focus has been put on it. And now is the time to take a step back and reconsider the way that we do things, why we do things, all while enjoying our love of travel. So that's the whistle stop tour, I suppose. I can give lots more information on anything if anyone has any questions or anything that they would like me to chat more about, but didn't want to do death by PowerPoint or by slides. Ireland.com is our website. So this is where you're going to find out lots more information on the Green Button campaign. As I said, now is the time to travel. Now is the time to book. If you are looking for good deals, we have many of them, and they're exclusive offers that you won't be able to find elsewhere. So $399 round trip fare home with Aer Lingus right now. I know I certainly want to be availing of that one, and lots more where that came from. Our social media channels are here on the page as well. So Discover Ireland CA, find us on Facebook. We have lots of amazing content there. We also answer to all questions and queries that come through to us on our social media channels. So we're very active there. So if you have a question or want a recommendation on something, if you'd like to know whether you should go to X place or Y place or what the opening hours are, however specific your question is, we are there to help you with it. As Sally mentioned earlier, for travel requirements and the ever-changing situation there, the Embassy of Ireland and DFA are your best port of call as well. And I'll leave you with just a short video that hopefully will inspire you and make you want to book, travel, and press the green button with us.
Have you booked that trip to Ireland yet? Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
So thank you for taking the time today and for joining us. And I'll stop sharing now. And I don't know if anyone has any questions, or Sally, if you see anything coming through on YouTube there.
Great, I'll let you know. Thanks so much, Sandra. That was a lovely, I think, whistle stop tour, as you said, and a lovely video. It's making me homesick, even though I haven't even been here that long. So it's great to see. I loved that idea as well of the Irish tourism industry having 100,000 welcomes and not knowing what to do with all of them. I think that's a great sentiment. So one that I'm sure we can all go and accept those welcomes soon. So I just had a few questions for you myself. What's your favorite spot to visit in Ireland and why?
Do you know what? I think that changes on my mood. It depends. There's so many amazing places. Like I said, there's the tried and tested icons. You know, nothing beats the Cliffs of Moher to me. I absolutely love just standing on the edge of it. There's a great way to do it too. Is that I always did the cliff walk on the Cliffs of Moher, but you can get a boat from Doolin. So it's Doolin to Arran Ferries, I think it's called, and you get on that boat and it brings you right underneath the cliffs. You see them soaring like above you. It's absolutely amazing. And then you stop off at the little village of Doolin. It's really, really cute. I'm a big fan of the Causeway coastal route as well. So my favorite drive that you could do in Ireland, just go straight up north and do the North Coast, Giant's Causeway, all that good stuff. And then there's just all the quirky little towns. Like I love Dingle, I love Killarney. I just, soaking up the culture. I think that's the thing that I miss most.
Definitely. I actually only went to Inishbofin with a very good friend of mine very soon before I left in July, and it's one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. So I think some of the islands are also a good spot to visit, especially now as things are still a little bit quieter, I think.
Yeah, totally. I think cycling the Aran Islands has to be right up there. If anyone hasn't cycled the Aran Islands, rent a bike, just take a day or two. There's these gorgeous little B&Bs over there, and you just feel like you're in another planet. It's amazing.
That's fantastic. And then I guess, do you have any must tries in Ireland? Whether that, I mean, you've mentioned cycling in the Aran Islands, but do you have any favorite foods, favorite pubs, or anything like that that you think are definitely a put it on the list kind of thing?
I could list my favorite pubs. So if anyone wants that, I can give it to them separately. I definitely have a pub map of Ireland that I could bring people around. One of my favorite must-dos actually is a food tour of Galway. So there's a couple of different providers that do it, but the food there is phenomenal. I go to the Oyster Festival in Galway every single year. It's so much fun. But even outside of that, if you're not there at the end of September when that festival is on, a Galway food tour would be my must not miss.
That's fantastic. Sandra, thank you so much again for a wonderful presentation. And yeah, if you have questions about travel restrictions, do come to the embassy. And if you have questions about the green button or anything like that, do feel free to get in touch with Tourism Ireland. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining today. And thanks again, Sandra.